Hey guys, and welcome to another Fillmore podcast episode. Today we're going to focus on the PS4 and what we feel are the best games for it so far. And I'm Loco.
I'm Poet.
And yeah, the way we're going to do this is we're both going to say our top five games. So I made it a little different. I know Poet, and I know a lot of his games will be the same as mine. So you won't see the obvious games on my list that we'll let Poet talk about, but just know that they're in my list too. But we didn't want to talk about the exact same games, otherwise it'll get a little boring. So yeah, just want to say that right from the start. When you hear my list, take that into consideration that I'm taking away all the games that I know Poet will probably pick too. All right, so my list is not really in order. I can jumble them around. So why don't you go with your number five then?
Right, number five, I have Far Cry 4, 2014 by Ubisoft, Montreal. Um, this is the first game I bought on the PS4, and it's an awesome game. It's really funny. It's first-person shooter slash survival. There's a lot of, as in all the Far Cry series, a lot of elements of nature and using animals and things like that in the game. A lot of action adventure kind of stuff, and a really cool villain and really funny game as well.
All right, so my number five is gonna be 2019's Devil May Cry 5.
Mm.
So I think I played Devil May Cry 4, I believe, or was it 3? I can't remember what it was on the PS3. I played a bit, but I didn't get too much into it. Then I heard good things about Part 5, made by Capcom, of course. It's kind of like a hack and slash. You got the main
Hmm.
hero, Dante, and you play as Dante, you play as Nero, and you play as a new guy called V. So they're basically just trying to beat the Demon King. And I won't go into the story because a lot of things come to light as the game progresses. It's a really good story. I think that's what kept me hooked.
Yeah.
Even though it's a hack and slash, you're fighting like huge monsters. You're going around killing people violently. It was just a fun game. I really enjoyed it. It's really the first game I really properly played for Devil May Cry series, and because of this, yeah, I'm gonna go back and play the older ones now.
Nice, nice.
Like I've tried them in the past, but I didn't give it a chance. But after this, yeah, I'm gonna put Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, I've never played one. Is it easy to pick up? Like if you're not into the series, if you're new to it, is it easy to get started with?
Yeah, it's a hack and slash, so every character has their own weapons and their own ways of doing things. So you're playing differently. When you're playing as V, he kind of controls like demons and all this kind of stuff. When you're playing as Dante, machine guns and stuff, and
Ooh.
Nero has kind of his own shit too. So they all play different. So you got to use different strategies of how to beat people and different weapons when you're each of these characters, and it kind of
Cool.
flips between all of them. Obviously,
And
Dante is my favorite. He's the main guy from the whole series.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And how long is the game? Is it a typical 20, 30 hours as per most adventure games? Or?
Can't remember exactly how long it was, but it was around 15. I think 12 to 15 hours.
Okay, good, good. So it's a good recommendation then for someone looking for an action game,
Yeah, action game that's not too long. I think I finished it
not
in 3 4 days.
and not too complicated. Oh, cool, cool. All right. So should we jump to my number four if you're ready? My number four is Spider Man, which was released in 2018
Before this
by
is right.
Insomniac Games and Sony Interactive, and I just recently played this as of last month, and I finished it, and it's a great game. It took me a couple years to to get into it, as you famously say, late respect was shown in this instance, but
I gave him
beautiful,
the game a good
right?
2 years ago, more than 2 years ago, yeah. And he just starts like it now.
Well, that also has to do with my PlayStation CD disc not working properly, but
You could have got the
yeah,
game in that time though.
yes, I could have, and I did get it, and one of the best games, man. I mean, what can you say about it? It's super fast, fun. If you love the Batman games, this is like a better version of that. Quick, easy to pick up, easy to learn, super fun, and very, very funny. Typical Spider-Man comedy, and Great villains, great story, everything. Brilliant.
I
Your
think
thoughts?
they basically took the Batman game as a benchmark, and they're like, okay, how can we improve on it and make it
Yeah.
suitable and compatible with the Spider-Man universe?
Yeah, but
That's
how
what you
can we
get.
make it more fun too? Take out the boring elements, and I mean those games are great too, but how can we make it more fun too? I mean,
Batman is just a more serious tone anyway, so they just
yeah, yeah,
by
yeah.
putting it in the Spider-Man universe, you ultimately do that anyway, right? Because that's the way the universe is based. It's different than the Batman one,
It's more lighthearted.
but yeah. But if there wasn't a Batman, if those Batman series didn't exist, I don't think this game would exist.
Yeah, I mean that's honorable mention too. Batman, the Arkham series, all great games. All right, cool. Do you want to jump into your number four now? What do you have there?
No, I just want to dance in the rain. Yeah, I want to go to my number four.
I
Top
feel
five,
left
of course,
out.
I want to go to my number four. Why are you asking if you want to go?
Bitch ass loco. All right, go ahead.
Poor asking the stupid questions.
I was going to segue. I was trying to segue, homie. I need to take it over.
Number four is a horror game,
Ooh.
Until Dawn, 2015,
Oh my
published by
god.
Sony. You basically got eight young adults who are trying to survive in Blackwood Mountain, and it's a butterfly effect game where your choices matter. So it's one of those games. I know a lot of people complain, "Oh, it's not really a video game." Like, shut up! It is. It's a 3D environment. You control what you want. It might not be a type of game you like, but it's still a game, right? You can't just dismiss it and say it's not a game. It is a bloody game.
Yeah,
Put
of
it
course, of
in,
course.
and you make choices, and
Yeah.
it's a 3D world, and if it,
Yeah.
it's not like a movie, right? You just don't sit there, just watch it. Just you control it. You have movement of the characters, and yeah, interesting story, amazing graphics. I love horror games, so
Yeah. So very reminiscent of the Walking Dead, the Telltale game series, where you have to make decisions which ultimately change the story and the ending, that kind of thing. And you actually like this one better than those games, right? This one really struck a chord with you.
yeah, this an honorable mention to Game of Thrones, Telltale games that I would probably tie with
Oh,
this one. I know that came out in
yeah,
multiple generation consoles, so we have a separate section for that. So I won't go into it right now.
yeah.
But yeah, I love these type of games, like Heavy Rain. And
Right, right,
it
right.
started off with Fahrenheit on the PS2,
Did you also
Beyond
play
Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls? Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, mine number four is Until Dawn. Just fun story. It varies in terms of what decisions you make is how many people stay alive in the end of the game. So
True that. True that.
I don't think you. Yeah, this is one of those games like you're gonna finish it
In
regardless.
mine, everyone died. In my story, everyone died. I screwed up.
I think you saved one person. You didn't kill
Oh,
everyone.
one, yeah, yeah. Yeah. But at the end, I screwed up with with the light or something. I can't remember what happened. Pressed the wrong button. But anyway,
I
the story's
saved. I
funny.
think I saved about three or four of them.
All right, right.
But yeah, I
It
bought.
also had Rami Malek in it, didn't it?
Yeah, and Hayden Panettiere, however you say it, the girl from Heroes.
Hayden, right, right. So yeah, yeah. So two big actors there too.
So yeah, this is a game you can play again. So I played it around 2016, and I'm planning to play it again. I just bought it again because I gave my original copy to my cousin years ago.
Oh, you did. Oh, you did. Okay.
So I bought it again, and then I kind of remember what decisions I made because what I like about these games is first you play as how you would decide how to do things, and then the next
Yeah,
time you
yeah.
play, you could do it the opposite. You could pretend you're someone else, and yeah, so I'm gonna do that.
And we played one together. What was it? Man of Medellin. That was quite funny.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I like these type of games.
Two player. Yeah, that was cool.
So that's my number four, Until Dawn.
All right, for me, number three, Nathan Drake is Uncharted. Uncharted 4, 2016 by Naughty Dog. What can you say about this series? Third person action adventure. Amazing, amazing game. Amazing series. And this was the last installment of the series, and it went out with a bang. Um, you know, Beautiful game, Great story, great ending, almost perfect. You agree?
Yeah, it's actually my actual favorite game of the PS4.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not including the games I knew you would include too. But that is probably my favorite game,
Awesome game. I guess the joint is probably our favorite. Oh, we'll see. But
and it's my favorite series too.
yeah, it is. It is. It is. Yeah.
Okay, so what number are we on?
That was number three. So we need yours number three now.
Whew, I don't know which one to. Yeah, it's not really in order, but I guess my number three is gonna be Resident Evil 2 and slash Resident Evil 3 and the
Ooh.
remake. The reason I'm putting them both together is Resident Evil 2 came out in 2019, 3 came out in 20, but as everyone knows, Resident Evil 3 was always a really short game. You could finish it in maybe 5, 6 hours. So I'm gonna count it as like a
Ah.
added DLC to part two. I mean, I don't really count it as a full game by itself.
Did you manage to finish? It's like I remember part two had a lot of puzzles. Is that
I
right?
finished
Or
both of them, so
yeah.
yeah, I finished both of the games. So yeah,
Wow. You put them that high, huh?
I actually enjoyed 3 more. I know it's short, but the
Right.
graphics, the controls, the action part of it is really fun. I'm not too much into these kind of puzzles, but so part two kind of frustrated me a bit, but
Yeah, I struggled with part
it's
one.
such
Don't
an
worry.
amazing game that you can't take it away from it, even though it had puzzles. The controls and graphics and just the tension. Oh my god, the tension of that game, it really gets to you. So yeah, you have this like monster chasing you out throughout, and he just randomly appears at different places. So that happens in both of them, but the main bad guy in Resident Evil 2 is more threatening, and you feel it more. But 3 is straight out action, hardly any puzzles. So yeah, they added a few elements. You can like dodge people. Yeah, a lot more in your face, better weapons, and yeah, if you like a pure action game and horror, you can't go wrong because it's only like 6 hours long too. So I highly recommend Part Three on a discount. Don't pay full price for it because it's a really short game.
A
But
nice little game, yeah.
yeah, but I put them both together like a because
Yeah,
even in the storyline, half of the game is happening at the same time as Resident Evil 2. I won't go into details for people. It'll
right,
kind of
right, right.
ruin it, but yeah, they're happening at the same time almost in the timeline.
Okay, cool, cool. All right. So number two for me was GTA 5, 2013, Rockstar. This was actually a remaster or a remake from the PS3, but they added a first person element to it. And I put this here because I did not like it on the PS3 for some reason, but when it came out on the PS4, I really enjoyed it. And when I played it again, I figured it was one of the greatest games of all time. Very, very funny, great story, three different characters to choose from. You can change between the characters, and just typical GTA, typical missions and comedic moments and cool things you can do. I played it so much that I even did most of the extra missions after finishing the game. I played the online for a while, which is still going strong for a good few months. And what can I say? One of the best. Thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but yeah, I mainly played on PS3. I never played the whole story again on PlayStation 4, but I played online a lot actually for a while. So
Yeah, you did.
the online, yeah, you can't deny it. They keep improving it for free. You don't have to pay anything extra.
Right, right, right.
But I kind of hope that they stop doing that so we can get a GTA 6.
Six.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been 7 years now. Biggest gap ever.
Yeah, people keep playing the online, so I guess they have no reason to make a new game at the moment. But they must be working on it for the
On the
new
new
generation.
system. Yeah, because they're not going to make GTA 5 for the PS5, obviously.
Actually, they
Uh,
are. They are. It is coming on PS5.
what?
If you bother checking the latest news, PS5 announcements,
Loco
Paul
dishing for
Owens,
all the podcasts as well.
Paul Owens out of date talking garbage. They're releasing a
Shit.
special version of GTA 5 on the PS5 and the Xbox
Oh
as well.
no. That means they might not make a 6 for a while.
So yeah, that's coming out with its own online special online for that only.
Yeah, I might get it for the online. I mean, I finished the story, so it doesn't matter.
I'm not gonna pay money again to them just to play online.
By the third time. All right, so that was GTA 5. What was your number two, man?
I'd have to go with Yakuza 6.
Yakuza. Nice.
Now, Yakuza is a series I always heard about it, and I heard that it's similar to basically my favorite, one of my favorite PS4 games, probably right after Uncharted, which was also on the PS3. We're going to talk about that later, which was Sleeping Dogs. So it's similar to that in terms of, I guess, culture, but what used to put me off is like you can't drive in Yakuza games, and the action is a bit over the top.
Hmm.
So even though I had it on PS4, I think I was too busy to really get into it at that point in my life. So I just put it aside. It became like a backlog game that I never came back to. But I kept hearing good things about this game. And then finally, I'm like, you know what? Yakuza 6, I think, is the first game on PS4 that they made for the PS4. So
Right,
it
right.
came out Western 2018, but I think it was a 2016 in Asia market. But so the other games have been ported to the PlayStation 4, but this is the first one they actually made for the PlayStation 4. And you play as Kazuma Hiro, who's like the main protagonist from the whole series. So I know who he was. Like, I've seen him around. And in the beginning of the game, they kind of introduce you to all the characters from the past, and they'll be in the game, so you don't have to play the series to
Hmm.
play this one. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to give it a shot. I just like out of the blue, I bought it, and I absolutely loved it. And he's like a former, gang member. He's a former yakuza, basically, and he basically has this orphanage that he runs, and he basically adopted this girl Haruka. He was in love with her mom in the previous series, in the
Hmm.
previous games. So
Yeah.
I had to look that up. But yeah, he so she goes missing, and he's basically trying to find her. And they found out that she got hit by a car. She's unconscious, and she has a baby mysteriously. So he was in jail for 5 years. So when he comes out, she's missing. He finds her in the hospital, and there's a little kid involved now, and no one knows what happened. So he's investigating it exactly to see what the hell happened. So that's the whole game, and I won't ruin it further from there. But amazing story.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was the plot of the whole game. Thank you, Loco.
But that's like you figure that out in the first, I don't know, couple
Yeah,
hours of
yeah.
the game.
I'm joking, man. I'm joking.
Then yeah, then it goes into like his past friends, his past enemies, which
Yeah, yeah.
even though I didn't play the series, I still enjoyed it because the way they acted it out, like you can kind of sense what the history is. So I'm sure people who played the whole series would have loved this game. And it's the last Yakuza game, I believe, with the main character too. So the Yakuza 7 is a brand new character they're introducing for the first time. But such an amazing game.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. I could play it again too. I think I can play it again. But I think I because of this, I went back and started playing the older Yakuza games. So I'm playing Yakuza 0,
Cool, cool,
and
cool.
then I'm gonna work my way up now. So
Yeah. Are these games like hand-to-hand combat, or are they guns? Like, what kind of action is it?
no, it's mainly hand to hand, and you can pick up like
Weapons.
surrounding items and use them, like a bicycle and smash it on someone's head or a knife.
Ah, like Sleeping Dogs kind of style.
Yeah, but no guns at all, and a little over the top action. But these games are mainly about story and
Fun, I guess.
a lot of extra stuff you can do on the side just for fun. You can go and play old arcades.
Right, open world kind of thing.
Yeah, so the best way I describe it is you've never played the game, but it's like Shenmue that was originally released for the Dreamcast and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
on the Xbox, but it's a much faster paced Shenmue. Shenmue is a very slow. I love the idea of Shenmue, but I can't get into it because everything's like time sensitive. Like
Oh yeah,
you
come
have a
back at this
clock.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a clock and it goes slowly. So if you're in town center, things close and you need to go to a shop, you have to wait till the next day. So you have to literally go home and go to sleep, and then I can't find my way home and get annoyed.
Oh
So,
yeah,
I mean, you have to be very patient, but
yeah,
the
yeah.
idea behind it, I think it was like the most expensive game at the time, Shenmue. when they
Yeah,
released
I
it.
think GTA used that where you couldn't go to the gun store at certain times or the clothes store and you had to sleep. So probably an innovative game more than anything.
Yeah, it's very innovative. People love it and understand. I guess if you have a lot of patience,
Yeah.
uh, I'm a guy with ADD, so I don't have that patience. And
Right.
plus, I get lost in these old games. There's no map, so like to get back
Yeah.
home, I'm
I hate
going
that
taking
too.
the wrong roads and giving myself headaches. But
Yeah.
very interesting concept, and it's a fun game to play when things are working. But again, you need patience. But Yakuza is like a fast paced. It takes away that whole waiting and everything, and it's faster. And yeah, the combat's a little more exaggerated, but not too much more. It's not like a stupid amount, like an animated movie. But and you have different styles you can pick of when you're fighting people in the
Mhm.
series. Yeah, so I don't know if you love that Japanese culture and those kung fu movies,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you,
yeah.
and you love a good story, emotional. Yeah, I loved it. Like, yeah, I'm a fan now. I'm a Yakuza fan, and I'm going to play the whole series and enjoy myself.
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right. That was Yakuza. You guys definitely check that out. And now we come to number one, which for me was 2018 Rockstar Author Red Dead Redemption Part 2.
Damn it, Arthur.
Damn it, Arthur. Now, this was actually a prequel to Red Dead Redemption 1, where you are playing now as Arthur, but John Marston is in your gang, as in Dutch's gang. And it is one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen in terms of environment. I think it took 5 or 6 years to make. In terms of just the landscape was amazing. But more than that, what made it was fun. It was easy to play, and it had a great story, written by Sam and Dan Hauser, who are behind all GTA games, and they write the story and are the architects of those GTA games. And they really went to town on this in the old west this time, improving upon part one. I don't know what to say about this game except it's for me the best game of this generation. I mean, that's how high I would rate it, of this current generation. It's just really great
No,
Western.
I don't mean to kill everybody, but that's what I gotta do. Survive.
Right.
It's one of those games.
Yeah, so many cool side missions, which I even ended up doing. It ties into part one. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but John Marston is involved in this game, so you get to experience that link between part two and part one, and everything just comes full circle and gets wrapped up nicely. Um, yeah, man. Well, what are your thoughts? I mean, we both love this game, but I want to hear your opinion on what you thought.
This game is one of those where I knew I was playing something special, but I didn't realize it until you finish the game and you give yourself a breather and you think about the experience you just had. Like when I was playing it, I was just so much into it. I wasn't. I don't know. Like I was just sucked into it. Again, when I first started, I'm like, oh man, I want to play as the guy from the first game, right? Like, why do I have to play as this new character?
Right, right. Especially when you can see him right there in front of you, but you can't play as him.
But then, as the game goes on and they build on this character who's like conflicted about a lot of things and has a lot of different issues, oh man, I love Arthur in the end. Like, he probably is now my favorite character. Uh,
Yeah,
just the way they portrayed him, his friendship with the first guy, what was his name again?
John Marston.
Yeah, John Marston, and they have a little history between them. And yeah, oh my, most beautiful game I saw. I don't know, like yeah, it took my breath away. Like just when you're
Yeah.
riding your horse and you're passing rivers, and
Oh yeah. In terms of detail of environment, I think it's the greatest game of all time. In terms of environment, you agree with that so far?
yeah, so far I would agree with that.
I'm sure PS5 they will come out with new stuff, but my God, I mean, they really to the detail of the water and the mountains. It's just incredible, incredible.
So yeah, it's definitely up there, even though it was released a few years ago. But just everything, just yeah, the horses, just the whole environment of the game, the atmosphere of the game.
Right.
It sucks you in, and you don't get out of it until you finish the game. Like you don't
Yeah.
nothing. There's nothing that snaps you out of it, right? Nothing stupid.
No.
And yeah, I love the characters. I love the missions. The shooting, I think, was a little weak, to be honest, compared to other games. It wasn't the
Yeah.
best shooting, but
Right. I think GTA just because they take 5 years. Their mechanics are sometimes a little old. By the time the game comes out, other games have come out which have improved on those mechanics. I think so. I don't know. I think that's one thing, but it's just a testament that it does so well, regardless of that, because of its story and how fun it is.
And yeah, so we're saying how beautiful it looks, and we only had the regular PS4. So I can only imagine how it would look on the PS4 Pro or the
Right, 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 right.
Xbox X with a 4K TV.
Exactly, exactly.
Like that's something I'll probably check out in the future when 4K TVs are more like in everyone's home, and
Available, yeah.
I'll probably get a Xbox X. But a couple of years it'll probably be cheap because the new machines will be out, and then yeah, I want to play that game again. And I'm going to play the game, which is also my number one segue. That's how you segue, poet. From
Sorry
now
there,
on,
bro.
that's how you segue.
All right, all right. I'll walk in the mud. Okay.
I'm the Mike Lowry of this group.
Shut up and tell everyone you're number one.
My number one is Star Wars Jedi: The Fallen Order,
Oh my god.
2019.
What?
In the storyline, it takes 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, so that's where it is in the Star Wars universe. You playing as a new Jedi Padawan, Cal Kestis. I don't know how to say his name, Kestis or something like that. Anyway, Cal. He's an actor. Yeah, I think he's in Shameless. He's one of the brothers in Shameless, and I believe he's the Joker in the TV show Arkham. Was it Arkham? The one with the guy with the OC.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. I thought I recognized him, man. I was like, where do I know this guy? Because I watched Gotham. Gotham.
Gotham. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Gotham. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he
in
plays the
Gotham.
Gerard Joker. Right, right, right. I
So,
thought his face was familiar.
so yeah, the whole story about him and Jedi's are being hunted, and you go to different universes. You go to different planets, not universes. Sorry. So you start off with one planet, you explore it, you beat it, and then you get access to another planet, and you're joined by another former Jedi. You don't know if you trust her or not. And this pilot, it looks like a raccoon kind of guy. And man, I loved it right away because it's a very different Star Wars game than what we experienced before. You, it has a typical you build up to RPG element. You build up to having better lightsabers, more abilities as you go along. But the gameplay is very unique, where it's kind of a mixture of like a Zelda Breath of the Wild mixed with Dark Souls, the way you die and then you have to go and beat that bad guy again to get your attributes back, and Uncharted, the way you jump and hang on to things, and they added on to it too. So and it has a fabulous story. So put those put all those attributes together, marvelous game there. And it was, I don't know, I can't remember if it was like 22 to 25 hours. I can't remember exactly, but I finished it in about 4 days because I went ham on it. I played a good 6 hours every day after work,
Oh
and
my god.
and I think on the weekend I played 10 hours. And this is a game I love so much. I normally hate tracking back and getting lost, and you don't know where to
Yeah,
go. I hate those type of games, but I love this story. I love this game. The mechanics are great too and on point. Like that matters when you're like beating people with your lightsaber. Like you really feel it. Like you really feel in control of your force abilities. It's a lot of like you. It's on point. Like what I mean. The detection's on point. Awesome combat. Great villains. Like I said, oh the worlds. We talked about Red Dead Redemption too, but this might even outdo that for me because you go to different worlds and they're completely different. They have a different like. So one planet is like Mars, almost like everything is red, like a type of like a clay, like clay grass on tennis tournaments. Like the whole world's like that, and the whole color is like that. The environments of the planets are all very different to each other, so it keeps the game very fresh. And the bad guys are different, and you have different type of bad guys in each planet. So like every planet is like a brand new game almost, right? And a completely different environment, and you're improving yourself. Then you sometimes go back to the other planets to find other things, so you can track back if you want. So yeah, I mean, I love the story. I love Star Wars in general. Not every Star Wars movie, but I love Star Wars in general.
Yep.
Awesome combat, awesome graphics, awesome acting, awesome story. So yeah, I mean, that's another game I'm going to get on probably the Xbox X when I get it in a few years and 4K. Like, I can't imagine how beautiful this game would look. A lot of people think it's hard, and I don't know. I didn't experience that. For me, like I can't finish Cuphead to save the life of me. I get stuck very soon in Cuphead. With this game, a lot of people I know gave up, but no, I finished it in 5 days. I had no problem with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave up on it. I
Uh, yeah, I used YouTube once just to get back to my ship. So once you finish your level, you have to find your ship, and I was stuck for 5 hours. I'm like, no way, literally 5 hours. I'm like, no, because I was trying to finish the game without using YouTube. And oh yeah, another great element is a lot of different puzzles, and they're very interesting puzzles in the game. So you got
weird
puzzle elements too. So that's where Zelda Breath of the Wild kind of comes in when you go into those.
because I thought you didn't like two things: one, puzzles, and two, navigating. And this game, you seem to enjoy both.
Yeah, that's why I have to put this game as my number one. Take
Right, right.
away
You
the
liked
main
it that
popular
much
games.
that you even like the things that you hate normally.
Made me enjoy the things I hate because everything else was so good that I want to progress.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that was my number one. Again, I'm taking away the obvious choices like Spider Man,
yeah,
Red Dead 2, all that. But yeah, even with
yeah.
them, it's going to be in my top five.
If you had to disregard my list, what is your favorite PS4 game?
Probably because of the series ending is Uncharted 4.
Okay, fair enough.
Now let's talk about the games, special mention games.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You want to go first or me?
And I told Poet not to include GTA because it's going to be in the special mention list, but he did it anyway, just for the listeners.
That's right. Put his own thing up and yell.
Poet can't follow the instructions.
I don't follow anybody's instructions, homie. Anyway, as you were saying,
Anyway, this is a list that was games that were released on the previous generation too. So I didn't want to include any of those games because they initially came on a different machine, different generation. So the games I have on there are Sleeping Dogs, my favorite game of PS3.
yep,
Uh, Easily one of my favorite games on PS4 too. And the remastered version, it actually looks a lot better.
yep.
They didn't have to change much. I think the combat was on point. Very underrated game.
Very underrated. Also one of my favorites.
The studio is dead, so you never get a sequel. But oh my god, I wish that game had a sequel. Day
Yeah,
one special edition, I would have ordered it.
sequels, not just one. I'd love to play a series of these.
Yeah, even like a spin off or something. Like, yeah, oh my god, I wish. It was a perfect game for me. It's a perfect game.
Yeah,
I love that kung fu movies. I love that environment, the controls, the
yeah,
driving. I liked it. People didn't, but I did. The story was amazing.
yeah.
They weren't even going to make a movie about it, right? With Donnie Yen, I believe.
Yeah,
They
actually,
got probably got canceled.
the driving is the same guys that do Need for Speed. That's why the driving was so good.
Yeah, so yeah, that's another episode by itself. So what I had on that this list is Sleeping Dogs, GTA 5 that we talked about, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Game of Thrones.
Right.
Beyond Two Souls is oh my, I keep telling Poet to check this game out. What a story! I actually have the special edition on PS3.
One day.
It's you control the characters, but yeah, it's also the choices you make.
Yeah.
But the story is what makes it. It has Ellen Page, the actress, voicing and face recognition, all that stuff. Yeah, no, yeah, it's just such an amazing game. I'm going to play it again. I played it on the PS3. I believe you can get it on the PS4 with Heavy Rain physical. I only buy physical code games mainly, but for this, I might just download Beyond Two Souls and play it again. But I believe the PS3 version is still superior in the way it looks, oddly color and all that. But it's a game I have to play again. I love it, and not many people talk about it. Any special mention you want to talk about?
Yeah, just Batman Arkham Knight, which was the last of the Batman series, preceded by Arkham City and Arkham Asylum. Great game, great ending. You could drive the Batmobile, and then Destiny 1 and 2. Destiny is what I got my PS4 with, which came with my PS4, sorry. And really enjoyed that, especially as a multiplayer. And then the same with part two. Um, I think yeah, that's pretty much it. There was some indie games, but I won't mention them. Just quickly, Fez is one of them. Limbo, Inside, and yeah, I think the rest we've already mentioned. So that's good.
Special mentions to Ghost of Tsushima. I just started playing the game, so anyone who's having a fit, that's why I did not include it. I'm only like 2 hours into it. I'm taking a break. I'm personal reasons. I'm gonna play it later.
Right.
So that so far is pretty fun, but yeah, I'm not into it far enough to really talk about it.
Yeah.
I do have to give a special shout out to this next game
What's that?
because take the story away again. The game is so fun, and that is The Last of Us
Oh,
2.
don't, oh, don't do it.
Even you admit it. The gameplay is fun.
The gameplay is
The
amazing.
world is amazing too. The way it
Yeah,
looks, everything.
yeah,
I can't, and I can't pretend this game is all garbage. Like the story is garbage, and it will always be garbage. And I'll never like the story. I'll never like Abby as a character.
yeah.
But the world, the environment, and the actual this core gameplay, I think is awesome. I really,
Wait,
really
wait.
love
Yeah.
the gameplay of the game.
No, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. It was still a great game to play. When you take the story away, but I wanted to ask you about something that I haven't played, but I heard a lot about is God of War. Did you play this game and finish it? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember if I finished it, but I've seen the ending, so I must have finished it, or I don't know if I saw it online. But yeah, I played it. Is there? I played God of War on the PSP. I always wanted to play God of War on the other machines. Again, when you're busy in life, you can't play every game, right? So it was always one of those games I thought I would come back to later. So I borrowed it off a friend, and I think this one is a little different to the other God of Wars. It's more like puzzles. So
Yeah,
there were a lot of puzzles, and at that time, like I said, I don't like games with too many puzzles. But now that I played Star Wars and really enjoyed it,
yeah,
I'm gonna go and replay God of War. But yeah, very good story. Again, the environment I think is very beautiful too. So
yeah. I keep hearing about that game. I never played it.
yeah, I think there's some games you didn't play that just missed my top five that people love, like Horizon. That's a very
Yeah,
beautiful game
Horizon,
where yeah,
The Witcher Part Three.
yeah, Witcher Part Three. There's a lot of amazing games that yeah, I never finished Witcher Part Three. That's why I didn't include it. I'm still like I don't know a quarter into it. Again, another game I have to get back into. But
Right, right, right. There's only so much time. There's only so much hours in the day, right?
yeah, so I think that game is like I want to build a eventually build a gaming PC and play The Witcher there. Because these type of games, I think, are just best on the PC. If you can, like Horizon's coming on PC soon.
Yeah, I'm sure Skyrim and stuff like that is good on the
Yeah, those
PC.
games will be much better on PC. Like,
Yeah,
so yeah, probably some games we missed, but we can't mention every game. Again, this is our own personal list, so I'm
yeah,
not saying these are the best games. These are the ones I enjoyed the most. And I probably missed a couple of here and there, but again, these are the core games. I think my list is a lot of games people don't talk about. Uh, Probably do talk about Resident Evil 2, but the rest of them I think were not on everyone's list, like Yakuza, Until Dawn, Star Wars. So yeah, just want to talk about them and hopefully shed some light on them. And it'd be cool if people checked it out and enjoyed it because of that.
yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
I'm pretty much done with that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, you want to close?
You go ahead.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. That's been the Fillmore podcast talking about the PlayStation 4. Stay tuned for the next episode with Loco and Poet.